and welcome to Minions and Misfits, an off-kilter, family-friendly TTRPG podcast where we tell stories, instead of about your usual archetypal heroes, about the minions and misfits, the grunts and lagoons, the NPCs wandering around the town that you're pickpocketing. I am Rebecca Evans, who I'm pretty sure keeps forgetting to introduce herself at the start of the podcast, but I will, as always, introduce my co-hosts. Sam.
Yeah, you're hard to remember, but impossible to forget.
Aw, Cam.
Hey, what's up? I don't have a good line.
And Dylan.
I'm here too.
We are
just happy to be here.
Well, you're just lucky to be here, aren't you?
Hopefully our continuity will be fairly consistent of putting out once every other week, but for us, it's been a couple weeks since we've recorded, so it's nice to be together again.
Gosh dang summer.
To be together, like a family, like we used to.
Ironically, since we've become adults, summer has been the busiest part of our year.
Yeah, it's the biggest lie of your childhood, so yeah.
We don't even have kids yet.
Summer is not fun as an adult. I've realized this.
It's just hot.
It's sweaty. It's all of the heat without any of the fun of being able to go out to, like, the pool or go do anything.
Well, on that depressing note, let's talk about our
Setting the mood.
Let's talk about our characters' childhoods for this rendition of Question Corner. One day, I'll get our editor a little sound clip. But today, for your main character and maybe your connection that you control if you feel like it, let's talk about their first crush. Their childhood little crush. Or maybe it wasn't from their childhood. Maybe it was as an adult. Whatevs. Who wants to go first?
Well, Ephraim was an impoverished child, so his first crush was probably like a mannequin in a store window.
She's so pretty!
This actually explains a lot.
He just saw the pretty clothes and was like, I want those.
It's like fives in Umbrella Academy.
Oh.
It's like the guy in Community who falls in love with the mannequin leg. That is what Ephraim does.
I just see him like holding the mannequin's hand and being like, Mother, I am marrying into money.
I'm rising to a new class.
And she's like sweating, trying to get him away from it while the store clerk is glaring daggers.
He just grabs the hand falls off.
Bonk.
I'll always remember you.
Let's be real, they wouldn't have even been allowed into the store.
Yeah.
Oof.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with Sam.
For Niles, I'm between two. Because I feel like Niles does not develop crushes very often. I feel like he maybe had like a childhood crush on a girl in town who liked his brother. Like,
Aww.
one of the things where it's like, okay, cool, have fun. Either that, or I would say maybe Georgiana was his first crush. I don't know. I'm between the two of those. I don't know which one. What do you guys think?
They're honestly, I like the idea that this has just been happening to Niles his entire life, where he's liked a girl, but the girl likes his brother more.
Yep, that's fair. Let's go with that.
And maybe Georgiana's his first adult, like, affection, you know?
Yeah, it's the
kid's
first
just kind
mature...
of like, I like you said something funny.
Yeah, it's the first, like, legitimate potential for a meaningful relationship.
But look at that, the same thing's still happening.
Hey! All right, Dylan.
For Freddie, I honestly think he was probably like 7 or 8, and there was like this like 16-year-old housemaid that he like had a big crush on that was like in the Worthington estate, but he didn't know anything about anything. So he's just like, "You're pretty. This is nice, yeah."
It's just kids being like, I like X thing about them, and I'm told that means love. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. I imagine like little tea parties with other noble kids, and like all the girls are like, "Hi, Freddie."
Just fawning. Yeah.
Mom said you're cool because you got money. And the maid's like serving tea and is just like, "Oh, look at them, pat." Well, I only have connections, and I didn't think about them. So
This is your question. No, what we really need to know is who was Vlad Tebediket's first crush.
Vadiget.
Even he doesn't remember.
When he gets super evil, he's Vlad the Baguette. I feel like it was a baguette, like on the street. He stole a loaf of bread.
Oui, oui.
That was his introduction to evil. He saw a loaf of bread in the window and just smashed it open.
He reversed Jean Valjean.
He reversed Jean Valjean. Yes.
Instead of a priest saving him, it was a vampire.
Or better yet, he fell in love with his reflection, but becoming a vampire, he can't see it anymore. And so there's this tragedy that's just a self-centered tragedy of, I can't see my own reflection.
Is he just a goldfish that got
I can only
transmorgified?
see myself in others' eyes now.
Either way, it's entirely self-centered and self-serving.
Does Georgiana have a first crush, perhaps?
Her first crush.
Yeah, that's probably the one that matters.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What are you talking about? Vlad matters.
Her first love is fashion.
That's right, girl.
Fashion.
As we previously discussed, non-gendered, neutral girl. Who would have been her childhood crush? I think probably a character, some novel character. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think she might have been a bit of a lonely child.
An
Probably
otaku?
stayed in a lot. Just read everything she could get her hands on.
A neat.
Nerd.
Yay. Pretty neat nerd. So let's dive into our own book as we begin the 7th chapter of our Pearls Field novel.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Chapter 7. Gatekeep, Gaslight, Girlboss. As we begin our novel phase this chapter, I am going to use a resolve token to slip in one more letter and to determine...
We can do that?
I don't know if I have to use the resolve token, but I never do.
She's a facilitator. She can do whatever she wants.
That's true.
Unlimited power! So I'm going to use the token to specify where and when the person receiving the letter gets it. It's going to be Ephraim. As we start our chapter, Ephraim has just sat down to tea, awaiting his guest to arrive to join him for tea, Sir Bashmore, when Krusty waddles in. I just picture like a poorly animated cartoon where the model isn't moving at all. It's just being like shifted side to side. That's how he walks. Dunk, 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 dunk.
You just turn around and like, why are you limping? He's like, I don't know. I don't know. He just throws the letter and walks away.
He just tosses the letter on Ephraim's lap and wobbles away. Ephraim. On the cover, there's simply a single E. When you open it, you quickly recognize Georgiana's handwriting. It reads, Mr. Ephraim, I apologize for my outburst on Tuesday. Recent events have caused me to question my choices. My uncertainty and the stress it has caused led me to act in a manner most unseemly. I am grateful, however, for our encounter. Your words, and those of my dearest confidant, have given me the wisdom to reforge my goal and once again have peace with my decisions. Sorrow has too often been the central theme of our story, Ephraim. I will do what I must to make happiness the theme of theirs, no matter what end it brings my story to. She did not sign it.
The question is, which confidant is she talking about?
Yeah, man. Is she the white dove?
He folds it up and puts it in his breast pocket.
His breast pocket is filling up with letters.
Breast pocket of holding.
It's just like, there's like a stack. There's like a stack 2 inches thick.
He got it enchanted, so it's a breast pocket of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just slip it in there, put your
Note
whole
to-
arm down.
Just pulls his
Note
cup
to
of
self. Note to self. Go to Taylor. Get breast pocket enlarged again.
Sticks that note in breast pocket.
Scribbles that down.
Oh, man.
Off to a good start.
And at that point, Sir Bashmore enters the room, and good old Radigan follows very, very carefully. There's like 5 rats that have come out of the sleeve, and they're all like holding their little paws up to hold a tray of tea and cups. But one like falls and has to like hold onto the sleeve as Radigan's just like his other arm is just gone because there's all these rats trying to hold the hot tray.
I just imagine that there's this whole long serious conversation, but in the background there's just a rat butler attempting to shuffle plates around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of slapstick involving Radigan happening in the background.
Perfect. Sir Bashmore gracefully takes a seat on the couch as they are incredibly wide. They are built like a brick barn and would not fit on a chair.
Right. Yeah, not in a regular sized chair.
But she moves with grace and poise despite being like a bodybuilder. Or maybe because I've never met a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Bodybuilder.
I'm almost picturing the super strong sister from Encanto.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Except doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Ephraim stands up to greet her as she enters the room.
She gives you a firm handshake. Mr. Ephraim, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing today? It's such a surprise to see you in town today.
His hand just cracks.
Yeah.
Just pops right off.
he sticks his hand in the ice bucket.
Surreptitiously.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, he's just like, it's behind his back, just in the ice bucket.
Well, Mr. Ephraim, you have become quite a favorite among the Bashmores, I must say.
Well, I certainly appreciate hearing that.
So when we heard you had made a name for yourself here in Pearlsfield, we simply had to come and send a representative to visit you.
Well, I appreciate the visit. Do you bring any business with you, or is this just a courtesy call?
She leans back on the couch and folds her hands in front of her. These large hands with well-groomed fingers and many rings sparkling on them.
Those hands have killed.
Those hands have killed.
Oh,
And they've
yeah.
also killed it in the stock market.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
I'm sure you've heard the rumors about a certain Lord Schmazos.
Oh gosh.
She watches
His hand
for a
just-
reaction.
You just hear like a quiet crunching, like he's just crushing ice in his hands behind his back. Yes, I am familiar with Lord Schmazos.
Indeed. So the reports said. Then I'm sure you'll be interested to learn that the rumors about him attempting to acquire the Pearlsfield dungeon are indeed true.
I should have guessed.
Now, said dungeon is currently, as all are when they are discovered, a property of the monarchy. It will require not only money, which Schmazos has in spades, but it will require influence.
Cut to Schmazos just shoveling gold coins into a wheelbarrow.
What am I going to do with all this money?
It takes up too much
Why can't I hold all this money?
Solve world
a bank?
hunger? No. Buy dungeons.
Poor people just don't understand how hard it is to have this much money.
Where do I even put it all? Time to invent a bank system, I guess. Or a credit? I don't know. Paper money. That's the word. Improv.
Improv.
Back in Ephraim's parlor. Now, to acquire this dungeon will take, of course, insane amounts of cash, but it will also require influence. Something only achieved with generations of work. She leans forward, setting her elbows on her knees, her fingers tented before her tusked face. Mr. Ephraim, we are well aware that you do not wish to let Lord Schmezos gain this boon. And neither are we interested in the Schmezos house getting even richer than they already are. Now, the Bashmores, like the Schmezos house, have much influence. And they may be willing to provide you some of that influence through marriage if you can prove yourself worthy. You already show potential, otherwise I would not be here speaking of the matter. However, we want to see a little more. After all, she turns the magic ring, solid opalescent, on her finger. Knowledge without the wisdom to wield it is vanity.
You see, like, Ephraim just scribbling that line down.
Sticks it in his breast pocket.
Man, that's really good.
You've already made a name for yourself here in Pearlsfield. Establish it. Ephraim, no last name given. If you want to earn the name Bashmore, you're going to have to earn a last name here. Or at least be proud enough of your place in Pearlsfield to announce yourself as Ephraim Hlanvarpul Gwingil Gogare Schwin Drubul Lan Ducilio Gogogosh.
Ephraim freezes. Like, where did you learn that name?
I know all about you, Ephraim. She leans back and accepts a cup of tea from Radigan.
It's like half empty.
Who is this woman and how can Niles help her achieve her goals?
She takes a sip. And she sets it back on the tray.
If you knew the story behind that name, you wouldn't throw it around so lightly.
What was that name again? Can I hear it one more time?
Hlanvar Pulgwin Gilgo Garich Windrobul Lantosilio Go Go Go.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
Elvish. They have a lot of time for all those extra syllables.
We're just gonna call you E.
She smiles politely.
I'll take your offer under consideration.
I hope you do.
I assume what was said here remains between the two of us.
Oh, of course.
Can I spend a resolve token to have Vlad hear this whole conversation?
This is what it's all about.
Yeah, that is something Vlad would do.
We pan up as this conversation ends, and we see Vlad just like stuck to the ceiling.
I feel like he was like doing something innocuous, and then it just like heard, like he was like washing dishes or like going to the bathroom, like oh, like just heard the whole thing. Like,
Bold of you to assume Vlad washes dishes.
I know that's really bold.
I was gonna say we pan up. He's not stuck to the ceiling, but we like pan up to his room, and his ear is just like pressed against the floor.
He's got like a stethoscope.
Yeah.
An ear trumpet.
Yes. But yeah, spend that token.
Or there's just a tin can with a string. There's a tin can with a string in the corner that's just leading.
Yes!
It's like camera follows the string out the door, all the way up the stairs, all the way down the hall and into Vlad's room.
I have a better idea. There's like a rat sitting in the corner with his mouth wide open, and down in Vlad's room, he just has a rat held up to his ear with its mouth wide open.
Been a mole the whole time.
Oh,
the rat
that
swarm
rat
was a
mole.
mole.
No, I feel like there's a whole subplot where Radigan genuinely wants to be a good butler, but all the other rats want to be rats for Vlad. It's like Ratatouille, but at a different bent. Where it's like there's one rat who actually just wants to do his job and be this like bougie butler.
Incredible.
Now, Radigan is the
Collective.
is the plural name of all of the rats in the trench coat.
Yes. The name
There has
of the
been
swarm.
one rat controlling it in the center. Like one, who's the heart of Radigan?
Nah, man.
Stay
They're a rat
tuned.
swarm.
That's what the story's all about. The heart of Radigan. You're ready
That's
for
the
the
real
spinoff.
The heart of Radigan.
But we do hand.
Hearts of ratness.
Cam, unless there was more that Ephraim was going to say.
No, he didn't have anything else to say.
We'll pan up and see Vlad listening to the rats and
he's in the basement.
Pan
He's in
down.
the basement,
Yes,
so-
pan down
yeah,
to the
pan down.
basement, where we do see
We pan up and there's nothing there, and then we pan down and he's in the basement.
we do see tin cans and string. We do see the ear horn, but the rat is whispering in his ear, and Vlad simply says,
Ephraim, go.
And so that's our one saving grace here is that Vlad de Baguette already can't pronounce regular words, much less Ephraim's real last name.
let's hear that last bit one more time. One more time, Sam.
Ephraim, croissant, go.
The croissant, the go-go.
I was really thinking about the I knew it that got talked over a little bit, but that works. We'll cut away.
I knew it.
There we go. We cut away over fields with sprouting green buds and Aarakocra flying over, tossing seed over the fields as their half-giant companion is tilling the soil. And over the fields, across copses of trees, newly in bloom, green meadows, we come to the Worthington estate, where the Worthington brothers and Georgiana and Mumsy are all
not
seated
Mumsy,
in
no.
the parlor,
Anything but Mumsy.
wedding planning.
Oh, joy.
They just have Niles licking envelopes. It's like the only thing they're letting him do.
Just blank stares.
Things have been pleasant, but in that we're all really trying to be pleasant and not talk about our feelings kind of way. You know the family functions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very Regency.
Very
I was
British.
talking about my modern family functions, but
Oof.
yes, the conversation, figuring things out, planning things. They're discussing the ceremony, and it's come time to decide who will be officiating the wedding.
Oh, Niles, of course. What was that, Niles?
That was in character.
You will officiate, won't you, Niles?
I mean, surely you want the most elder clergyman in the town, Father Phineas, to officiate. That's just tradition, right?
Niles, let's be real. You know he's been on the way out for a while.
You look over to where Father Phineas was sitting. He's been carried away by a raccoon again.
Oh, dear.
We both know Father Phineas isn't what he used to be.
I think Niles would make quick eye contact with Georgiana. What is her expression?
So this whole time, she has been seated not by your brother, and she's never actually spoken to him directly. You've caught her try to like inhale and look at him, and then look away. She's looking at you with pleading eyes.
Do it, please.
Yeah, like she wants your support. Please, please be there for me. Eyes.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, Niles, it is very good of you to do your duty as a clergyman, Mumsy says, looking at her fingernails.
Menacingly.
Everything she does is menacing.
That's true.
Wakes up in the morning menacingly, distressed, menacingly.
The menace
It's
agenda.
true.
Eats a grapefruit.
Menacingly.
Goes for a walk menacingly.
Is Mumsy the true villain of this season?
Oh,
Stay tuned
yeah.
and find out.
Was there ever any question?
No.
But on to other matters of business. The flowers.
Frederick immediately tunes out.
Mumsy reaches her hand across and puts it on yours and says, Freddie, dear, I have already arranged for the most lavish arrangements for your
Oh
ceremony.
no, I'm sure you did. That's why I was so at peace about the whole
Yes.
situation. I'm sure you got it
But
handled.
the money is due today, and I need you to take care of it.
Oh, sure, of course. Who needs it?
Niles, as this is being discussed and you're more tuned in, you didn't okay any lavish payments. This does not sound like it's in budget, and it would really mess up the budget. Like, you gotta stay on track to get y'all savings
Oh,
built
no.
back up proper. Like, this ain't good.
Niles is
This
like,
ain't
hold
good."
on, let me see if this is in the budget. He takes out like a single note card. It's like, yeah, no, that's not in the budget.
Basically, exactly that. Just and how will we also afford the tablecloths
We have tablecloths, Niles.
and the Stradivarius player? Stradivarius, of course, being a wholly different instrument.
Since when are we getting Stradivari?
That's what Mumsy said a half an hour ago. Weren't you listening?
Yes,
Sure.
Niles, it sounds like Niles isn't listening at all. We're going to pay with it with our money. Niles, you wouldn't deprive your brother. You're sweet. And she kind of squeeze this little cheek, squeeze a little pat on the cheek of Freddie. Your sweet, dear older brother. You wouldn't deny him.
Just
For his
framing his
wedding.
face with her hand.
Well, if you insist, Mother, what I can always do is take it out of next year's allowance.
Now, Niles,
Snap.
that's just very unkind of you. Freddie.
Cut to Freddie just being like, it's very unkind.
Mother turns dramatically. Freddie, talk some sense into him, won't you?
Well, I mean, he does bring up a good point about the budget. I mean, if we're trying to have like a really nice wedding, then I mean, it doesn't have to be all crazy everywhere.
Can I
focus?
Can I spend a resolve token to have the adventuring party just show up out of nowhere? Like, start reporting back to Freddie on their progress. They're all just like disheveled.
Absolutely. Spend
Oh,
that
gosh.
token. As you're talking, there is a loud knock at the door, and the half-orc elderly butler shuffles off to go answer it, but you hear him just go, "Oh!" as he is shoved past. And trap, 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 trap. In comes in the dwarven fighter, and he says, Fred! You aren't busy, are you? And he wipes his muddy boot on
Sorry.
the carpet.
Oh gosh, I thought Thelka was my point of contact with you guys. Thelka?
Like the halfling bard just has Father Phineas on his shoulder. Like, no, we're good.
They're still shorter than everybody else in the room.
What
She
happened
couldn't
to
make it this
Thelka?
Thursday. I mean, she's not here right now. She's off at the end.
Or yeah, she said she had to, finish scribing some spell for the opening of the dungeon or whatever. She's taking too long. So we came in to report.
About what? You said you haven't even opened the dungeon yet.
What were we reporting about?
Also, can we talk about this in private?
Ladies. And he takes off his helmet and does a big dramatic bow.
They all leave the room. Each of them tips their caps, and the last one is the halfling bard, and he just tips Father Phineas.
He says, "Whoa." So, okay, what are you reporting about then?
Hey, Cam, you spent this resolve token. What are they reporting about?
Let's see, what are they reporting about? While Thelka was trying to open the front door of the dungeon with a spell, they were just messing around and found a back entrance that didn't really lead deeply, but it did have a single bag of gold coins.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So we were just fooling around, and we fought some giant rats, and I think there were some wolves too, just grinding.
Your standard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
In hindsight, it was just parts of Radigan going to get groceries, but they attacked it.
That's why they had item drops. It's the stuff that Radigan was trying to carry back.
I'll never kill a rat swarm again. And we found this gold. Thaka said you'd be happy to see it, and that we shouldn't keep it all to ourselves.
And also these napkins and this bag of apples. Like,
Cut back to Ephraim's house, and he's like reading the newspaper or something, and Radigan comes through. He's like, Radigan, did you lose weight?
he just kind of is like hobbling to the other side of the room. Like,
You didn't. Okay. First off, how much? Second off, you didn't happen to find any tablecloths in there, did you?
We didn't go too far in. Thaka said she needed to prepare some more spells.
That's standard procedure. Yeah. So how much did you get?
Here. Plops over the bag.
How heavy is this bag that I grabbed?
It's pretty decent. That should probably cover your payment to the dove or those flowers.
Oh dang.
Ooh, what day is it? Ooh,
Thursday?
Thursday?
I don't know.
Shoot. You're pretty sure your payment's due today.
Oh crap. Of course it's due today. Of course it comes on the day. Okay, well this will do nicely. Thank you very much. Give Thelka my best. And if you find any really lovely flowers or any nice tablecloths in there by any chance, just let me know. We'll count that as part of payment instead of gold if you want to share.
Okay, man, whatever you want.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Next time, please don't just barge into my house.
Sure, yeah, right. Bye! Chop, 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 chop.
They leave through the same window that they busted through the last time.
That was at Ephraim's house.
That was at Ephraim's house. Yeah.
But still, they could bust through a window.
Oh no.
But they'll go through the door this time.
It just pushes the door open the wrong way, just like...
Inexplicably, it just opens wrong and closes. Like in a video game where the doors just open either way.
Yeah, it's fine. It works.
next time someone tries to open the door, it just falls over.
Back in the parlor, Mumsy is still going on some rant about the flowers and the standards
Yeah, she's still
that the
going on them.
Worthingtons are held to. We must keep up appearances for the people of the town. We are a symbol, like, just going on.
I pop back in and say, so, have we decided on the flowers? Are we good?
The flowers are uncompromisable.
I absolutely agree, which is why we can deduct them from Mother's budget next year.
No!
Oh, perfect.
Freddie!
Well, I don't want it to come out of my budget. And let's be real, you're not spending as much as you used to.
Freddie! You wouldn't gang up on your poor sweet Mumsy, would you?
Who's ganging up, Mother?
I feel ganged up on. I don't know what I did.
Georgiana, are we ganging up on her?
Georgiana looks like she is like visibly sweating a little bit.
Georgiana's like 10 feet farther back from the group than she was a minute ago.
Counterpoint, actually, family. I know Aunt Agatha also has a smaller estate than ours, but she's needed more care since she's grown older. We could sell her part of the estate and have her move in here. I'm sure dear Mumsy could live with her sister.
No, that's a wonderful idea, actually.
I know, that could cover some of the costs of the wedding.
You see, Mumsy.
Wouldn't you do that for
just
me,
like just the fear
Sweating
and
profusely.
the anger. Georgiana stands up and says, "Actually,
Wouldn't you do that for me, Mother?
that sounds like a very practical idea to resolve the issue."
I just give Mum the puppy dog eyes.
I'm picturing Prudence just like sweating like Jordan Peele in that one sketch from Key and Peele.
But still menacingly.
Always
Just
menacingly.
completely straight faced, but just profusely
Yes.
flop sweating.
Mumsy's trembling eyes look to Freddie on one side with his puppy dog eyes, and Georgiana on the other side, like fluttering her eyelashes. And through
And then Niles has just a face of grim satisfaction. Like,
gritted
Yes.
she says, "Yes, that sounds doable. If you can convince your aunt to go along with the plan."
I'm sure that'll be fine, especially once we clear out your crafts room for her bedroom.
Certainly.
Cut to another tin can with a string, but this time it goes out of the house and just all the way down the street to where Agatha is just listening to it.
I imagine that for that scene, we don't even need to do dialogue. It's just a faraway shot of Freddie and Niall standing in front of her door knocking, and like a 5-second conversation before she starts like freaking out and hugging them. Like, it's not a hard conversation at all.
No.
Before we cut to that resolve of the scene, Mumsy does redirect the topic and turns to Georgiana and says, Georgiana, your dress. How are fittings going? I'm sure your family is sparing no expense on your dress for the big day. And Georgiana kind of starts a little bit.
You are the fashion industry, so...
Yes, it is coming along. I am excited for you all to see it. Mumsy moves the conversation along, but...
No more questions, please.
Georgiana does excuse herself for a little bit after that, and you two are able to go and talk to dear Aunt Agatha. And, how does Agatha respond? Yes?
I can't believe it's finally happening. I've asked my sister, your mother, so very often, please let me come enjoy the fineries of the estate instead of being in my little hovel. And cut to her house, which is actually quite lovely, but not an estate.
It's like 16 rooms instead of 24.
Yeah. Hovel. So, thank you, boys.
And don't forget that if you ever feel bored or have a malaise about you, because it sometimes is quiet in our small little town, you can always rely on Mother for your entertainment.
Oh, don't you worry. I find my entertainment around.
I feel like when Freddie walks away, because Freddie's the type who's like, oh my gosh, give me, like, I need to go wash my hands. Like, Freddie...
Yeah.
Niles kind of pulls Aunt Agatha aside and says, all right, Aunt Agatha. And he kind of offers to increase her allowance as long as she doesn't mess with his crap. I don't know how he would phrase that in a way that's very artful, but he would. Now, if you make sure that you care for my mother and just really be there for her in the literal sense of the word, I will increase your allowance like a small amount. Aunt Agatha.
I'm thinking, how much are we talking?
A fictional amount in this fictional game.
That sounds weird.
Yes.
200 arbitrary monetary units.
Yes.
Moderate?
What percentage?
Increase it by 10%.
15, and you have a deal.
13.
14.
13 and a half.
13.8.
Deal.
All right.
I just imagine a handshake. Incredible. We pan from this I've been picturing this cottage core dream house that's also super fancy. As we pan away from however this cottage is. Let's find out about Freddie.
Yeah.
Hey, what's he gonna do with that money? Is it time to go meet the dove?
I'm going to the dove cave.
The dove, as always, appears from the shadows. That is an impressive amount of coin, Frederick.
It's in my pocket. How can you tell?
I thought you just mimed. You threw it on the ground. I saw you mime it.
No.
X-ray vision.
You continue to astound me.
That's me astounding.
The dove can smell coin.
As well as a pigeon can smell breadcrumbs.
I don't know how well they do that, but I'll assume it's pretty good. And I'll take out the whole bag and plop it on her hand.
Gives a little toss, catches it.
That should cover this last payment with interest.
I think you've almost done it, Freddie. I knew
Almost, you
I
say?
didn't. believe in you in vain. But there is one more thing, Frederick. One more thing.
Mm-hmm. There's always one more.
That's what you said 4 things ago.
You would happen to know a florist, would you?
I know everyone in this town.
But specifically florists.
Oh, yeah, the one on 2nd Street or the one on Baker's?
Yeah. No, the
Oh,
Second
sorry,
Street
Second
one.
Street.
Yeah, my mother's
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to get.
yeah.
Never mind. It's not important.
Oh, she's really good. She does a great job. Good choice.
She's like, yeah, the flower district.
I think this will about do it after your final payment.
Yeah, I've only got. I'm so close. I got the one left, right?
Yeah, and you...
It's been how many years?
Oh, Freddie. If you don't make this last payment, it'll be several years more with interest. You said you'd have it covered after the wedding, right?
Yes, wealthy merchant family, be able to get all that. Yeah, we're fine. Don't worry about it.
Georgiana Dennison, wasn't it?
Dennison, yeah, you know the Dennisons. They have like hundreds of lovely fabrics all around.
I don't.
You don't?
I've never heard of the Dennisons, and I know everybody.
You know everybody. You just told me all the florists in town.
Freddie, sweet Freddie boy, listen to my words. I know everyone, and I have never heard of the Dennisons.
Well, they're from out of town.
Let me put it to you straight. She doesn't have money, Fred.
Of course she does. It's the Dennisons. They're the wealthy fabrics. They get the brocades.
Well, maybe your little fantasy is true, but you might want to find yourself a wealthier fiancé.
Nah, you're messing with me.
Either way, next month, I hope to see your final payment. Or I look forward to continuing a long and, for me, fruitful partnership.
Yeah, fruitful's one word for it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
She fades into the shadows.
Why does she always do that?
It's not a very big cave,
It's
so
the
a few seconds later.
She's just back in the corner. You can actually see her.
Just like... just waiting for him to leave so that she can sneak out.
A lot of menacing ladies this episode. We've just had a lot of menace.
It's a menacing lady episode.
Let's go, girls.
Girlboss.
Gatekeep. Gaslight.
Gaslight.
This week's chapter title.
Man.
All right.
Well, it sounds like Frederick has a conversation to have.
Right? To my fiance and I, who aren't speaking to each other right now.
But you know who she is speaking to? She's speaking to Niles. So
Oh, joy.
y'all met, Frederick and the Dove had your meeting at dusk, because dusk and dawn are the most dramatic times. So,
Of course.
it's got to keep up the
Yeah, the sun
vibe.
sets through the cave. It's perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like your hope slowly trickling away from
Oh
you.
no! It's all a metaphor.
Wait, it's a metaphor? Always has been.
Sorry, a simile.
Georgiana and Niles, once all the wedding planning has finished and you have finished business, getting started working on getting Aunt Agatha's little cottage sold, you find yourselves together in the Worthington Gardens, just hanging out, just chatting.
How many of us are there?
Right now, there is just Niles and Georgiana. You are on your way, so
Perfect. Okay.
as the sun is setting.
I feel like Niles kind of scrolling through a ledger and be like, and that should do it for the budget. I think we are just about at it, but I believe that's the last of the preparations.
Camera 180s to the inside of the ledger, and there's 2 lines.
Georgiana lets out a sigh and says, Niles, thank you, really. You've been so busy with your new duties, managing the household, and you've still been helping me. She kind of glances around. Make some money on the side, and She holds up her own little ledger and says, "Things are looking a lot better."
Oh, good.
Niles, I've been able to afford new supplies. I'm still worried about the timing of it all. That the summer line may still arrive late, but perhaps that will be in vogue. Fashionably late. I can hope. I'll try to make it a thing. But yes, not a penny to spare. But it's taken care of. Thank you, Niles.
Absolutely.
Oh, just the two I was waiting to see.
She quickly hides the book. She just whoop, sits on it.
Niles, you worked the florist into the budget, right?
Yes, with what Aunt Agatha contributed.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. Niles, do you mind giving me and Georgiana a moment?
Of course. And he
She
kind of
looks
picks up his ledger.
nervously at Niles.
And I think he kind of shrinks away, but kind of goes past the corner, but not that far past the corner.
She goes
you just see part of his head barely peeking out from around the corner.
Because he can tell she's nervous, so he kind of wants to hang around.
I imagine he gives the tiniest thumbs up, you got it.
Yeah.
He just
Because Freddie also isn't the, hey, we need to talk guy. That's odd coming from Freddie,
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah, this has never happened for Freddie.
Yeah.
Now it's walks out of the room, you just see him stealthily drop a tin can as he leaves.
Well, if Vlad uses rats, what does Niles use? Niles uses I don't know.
Just classic eavesdropping.
Father Phineas.
Roll him across the floor.
No, I want because feathers are what the author hat, that's her signature.
Quill. Yeah.
Yeah, the quill. Pigeons. I want Niles to use pigeons.
Oh gosh.
He doesn't have the same power as Vlad, but I want he can use one pigeon to eavesdrop. Just
And then try to translate the pigeon later.
He could.
As it does interpretive
I think
dance.
he knows the gardens well enough too that he can just hide and eavesdrop.
He kind of pats the pigeon and says, "It's okay, buddy. I got this."
It just flies away.
Yeah.
Georgiana turns.
So I know we haven't had proper discussion since the whole incident at Ephraim's. So I wanted to apologize for that. I know we've been kind of weird with it recently. But also I needed to ask you a very direct question. Is that okay?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay. It has come to my attention recently that oh man, how do I bring this?
Wait, can
Yes.
Can I spend a resolve token?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. As Niles is hiding in the
Nearby bushes.
the topiary and eavesdropping, he hears a small rustling and notices that there's a rat perched in the
Ephraim's eyes are everywhere.
Yeah, there's a rat perched in the topiary right next to his head.
As Niles looks at him in confusion, we get a flashback to Agatha walking in with her suitcase and her handbag, and the little rat that's been hidden away in there peeks its head out and jumps out. Its little cute little paws is wee, spread out as it whoosh, dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun. It's lowering itself with its tail. Dun, 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 dun,
From sitting in his living room, holding a rat up against his ear, just
I don't think Ephraim's quite that good
This
with
is
the
normal.
rats yet, but he'll get word
No.
later.
Well, in my mind, the rats don't speak the words. You just hear when the rat opens his mouth, you just hear the conversation.
Vlad, being a high level, is able to do
Yeah.
that. His
Ephraim just has to interpret it through Rat Dance from Radigan when he gets back.
Radigan writes it down.
Yeah, that
he
tracks.
squeaks. The rats just don't have that telepathic bond like they do for.
You taught the collective rats how to write.
Vlad is just lounging with a really long cigarette, with the rat in one ear and the cigarette in the other.
He's currently listening to some drama going on in the Nickelback household. As Penny is like, I can't believe you would send adventurers after my poor Mr. McPherson. And the sisters are like, no, it was supposed to be Vlad. We thought he was the werewolf.
And he just like he just turns the rat's tail a little bit, and it switches to the garden.
I like
shadows.
I like the idea that like clearly Vlad is using them like a speaker or a phone, but Ephraim's skill level is like one technology level lower than that, so he's using like Morse code, like a telegram. So like one of the rats is listening and the other rat is just like tapping out Morse code.
I can imagine like the rat with a little visor kind of like scribbling down like
It's just
I'm going to be a bad yes-ander and say no, but it's at a slightly lower level of this rat. Like, you don't get the news at this in real time, but he'll come and bring back a fairly accurate report later.
Yeah,
So long as he
report
gets back
yeah,
safely.
that makes more sense.
Yeah. But you're able to get, like...
Is it fair to say that like maybe Vlad would go up to Ephraim and be like, hey, listen to this, and kind of like just like find a bigger rat and like open its mouth and just play this louder? I don't know.
I think Vlad may not want to reveal his hand, and also Vlad
Yeah.
isn't spying on this conversation. Ephraim is.
No.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vlad has other stuff he's more interested in.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a boring conversation. Back to the Nickelbacks.
Right.
Yeah, finances. Ugh.
Vlad's biggest weakness is that he's not at all interested in anything that could actually get him anywhere.
He just fails upward. That's kind of his whole thing.
That's why he's sticking
He's
with
just slowly
Ephraim.
falling downward for centuries, but he started with wealth, so it's been okay.
Yes. So, back in the garden, Niles, like, kind of has a bit of a jump scare with this rat. There's a bit of a rustling in the bushes as Freddie tries to resume his...
Yeah, how to phrase. It's come to my attention that your family is not known in the world of fabrics and such.
Oh,
Like the Dennison name is not a household name.
well, but we're
Which
we're
is-
fairly new money, but very established in the capital.
Yes, but my friends in the capital who like know people have never heard the name.
Oh, well, perhaps they just, fashion. There's many different branches of fashion, I suppose.
No, I know, but like this is like someone who knows everyone, like throughout the land. Like it's their job to know people.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Frederick.
You know how this was like a joining of wealthy households to forge a new bond.
Yes, and I promise there will be money. Frederick, we're very new, but you've seen the pre-orders were incredible, and there will be money.
Oh, yes,
I will
yes.
be an asset, I promise.
If it helps, I don't know if Niles has told you, as Niles have seen a bunch of new things recently, but if it helps, I'm also not as well off as it might seem.
What do you mean?
Niles has been doing the books, so he sees the numbers now, but most of what has been, he kind of gestures around, funded here is remnants, and the continuing income has been largely from incurring debts.
Oh,
So I don't know if that helps, given the situation, but I know that this was an arrangement of sorts there. Two households joined together, more powerful together, that kind of thing. But
but you're in debt,
since things have been so strange,
and I have nothing.
yeah. So if this is what you want, then yes, by all means continue forward. But Just know that our understood arrangement before is not possible currently.
Yes.
I think we may have been trying to grab onto lifeboats, and both of our lifeboats were punctured.
Seems we have both led one another on. I do apologize for my part in it.
No need to worry. I understand how things go. But just things to consider right now. If we move forward, we move forward. If not, we'll have to find a story.
I think I need some time to think.
Understandable. I am also in the midst of processing all of this, but I thought I might try honesty for once.
It does suit you, Frederick. She stands and awkwardly takes the book that she had been sitting on and clutches it to her stomach.
I'll be here whenever you're ready to talk.
Good day, Frederick. And she hurries off. Down the path, back towards town on foot.
I feel like a moment later, Niles kind of falls out of the bushes right in front of Frederick. You told me you invested in cheese mines!
And from there, the camera pulls out over the blooming gardens and the hurrying Georgiana down the trail. What will happen next in Pearlsfield? Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.